Hi guys, I'm back. This is Claudia. I am here to talk to you about a side hustle that I have that I have never improved on. Um, it's not something that I had intention of scaling only because of the state that I am living in, which is New York, and that is investment properties. Um, a few years ago, I realized I should have expand on the investment property that I have, but I figured with New York being a state where tenants can live in your property for years without paying and are allowed to do so until some unforgiven years that's passed, then the judge will decide that okay, it's time for you to leave this woman's property or this this landlord's property. So as such, that turned me off from scaling my investment property. So I do have a multifamily property that does give me a nice rental income. Um, and luckily for me, I have never had issues with tenants paying me my rent. And I've owned this property since 2003 and could have owned more and didn't try to do so only because I have a sister who have like about 5 different properties, and she's very impressive with it. But what I saw her went through with tenants, whoa, it's a nightmare. So that scared me. I should have taken the initiative to start owning properties outside of New York State. A state that is more friendly to landlords than they are to tenants. Well, we want to be fair to both sides, not having tenants living in your property and you can't get them out at all. You know, and by the time you finally get them out, they ruin the property. Well, that comes with any states, because I've seen other states where people complain, landlord complains that tenants ruin their property. Well, in the state of New York, they will live in there for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, ruin the property, and when they're about to leave, they ruined it. So they just take you down. And I've known people who lost their homes to vindictive tenants. So as such, although I get a monthly income from my investment property, it was never a business that I seek to scale in New York. So as such, it's not a side hustle that I considered number 1, number 2, number 3. Yeah, because of the fear of it. And so if my side hustle is not scalable, it's just something that's giving me money. It's not so much of a side hustle, you know. It's a business I would love to scale, but so afraid of doing it in my state, in the state of New York, you know. And while I know I could have owned investment properties outside of New York, there's always this fear of being far away from my properties. I am the kind of woman who like to connect with I like to, let me just take a ride down there, let me go 20 miles there. You know, an hour away or even an hour and a half away is good for me. But 200-300 miles away, no. Yeah. So my heart goes out to landlord here in New York. I had a tenant when I just bought my house in 2003. I bought my house, and the gentleman that lived at the property lived there from 2003 all the way to 2019. Then he passed, and I was able to renovate the property again and immediately rent it to someone else who paid for a year's rent in advance. So I like that. And that didn't work out well. She lived here for about a year and a half, and but her issues was not lack of paying her rent. No, she had other issues, and fortunately for me, I did not have to ask her to leave. She opted and left herself right in the middle of COVID. My friends said to me, "How are you so lucky? They come in, they pay you, and then they move out when they want to, and just get up and go." And now I have someone else here at the property, and this time I went through Section 8. Section 8 was, you know, they're on time with their money, and I didn't want to go through what I saw my sister went through. And as such, I am now thinking that maybe it's time to scale this somewhat of a side hustle. But I may be thinking that at a time when property are exceedingly high. It's crazy here in New York. The cheapest I would find a multifamily property here in New York City, it's nothing short. Multifamily, I'm talking about a 2-family, not a 4-family, not a 3-family, a 2-family that is not that big at all would be at least in New York City $1.3 million. So it's so weird that when property was cheaper, I never seek to scale, and now that it is much more expensive, 3 times what it used to value. I mean, I could get a property 4 or 5 years ago, probably 6 years ago, for $600,000-700,000. Not now. And even if I go in the suburbs of New York, those properties are getting exceedingly high too, because then most of us start going out there to buy all these properties, and as such, it drives the prices up. So it's crazy. You know, I'm not sure if this is something I can pursue, but it's interesting that I now have the urge to scale my rental income. How do I do so? With property being this expensive, and with New York having laws that is more supportive of the tenants than they are of the landlord. You will lose your house if you rely on that rental income solely to pay your mortgage. In the state of New York, you will lose your home. You will. You know, I am going to really sit and focus on how am I going to do this. But I think I'm not sure what's persuading me to do this. I think it's more as I get older, you want to be more financially secured and you're trying to make sure that all your income will be sustainable. And for your income to be sustainable, it would be it's better if you try to scale them so that it can be more sustainable to your lifestyle financially, you know. So I will be looking into buying properties somewhat so outside of New York, very states that are very close to New York. I think that I may start considering, but rental income has been something that I've always had that, but I've never decided to make it a business or even try to scale it until at this stage of my life when I could have afforded it 10 years ago, and they were much cheaper. I never thought of it, but now that I'm, you know, at this stage in my life, you know, what do I have to lose but but tenants not paying me? If I may have to rely on my other side hustles to pay for my mortgages, just in case something devastating happen where tenants are no longer paying. That's a nightmare. I'm saying it, but it scares me. It scares me. I will be going into that, and I will be keeping you posted of how that works out for me. Please feel sorry for all landlord that lives in the state of New York. It is not fair to us at all. Once again, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe my video. Thank you so much. I'm Claudia.